Good afternoon, Heat Nation. My name is Roy, and this will be the consecutive video, but part 2. All right, Worthless F a Penny, part 30, Discontent edition. Mistakes of the front office or looking at the past. This is the only series, perhaps, in the history of the internet whose host wholeheartedly admits he has no idea what he's talking about. But I can't read. In this case, I also experienced it on my skin and in my blood. I was just watching, and I didn't finish watching. I watched about 10 minutes of the Five on the Floor, and this episode talk about Miami Heat build. They talk about the players that we can forget about having. I think that's pretty obvious, but we're going to talk about that in the next video. This video, I want to look at the mistakes in the past and why they cannot always be so easily classified as mistakes, even though fans want to so eagerly crucify certain people, especially in the front office nowadays. So let's talk about the Jimmy Butler era. So 2019, he comes to the team, and we have the explosion of Bam Adebayo. It just so happens that we had that, and also acquired Herro in the draft, who was playing amazingly well. Also, we had undrafted Duncan Robinson. It was a very interesting team, and that team, despite the pandemic and despite before the pandemic having kind of dropped a little bit in terms of what they were producing, they did get to the finals in the bubble. And even though I still consider them significantly inferior to LeBron James's Lakers that year, weren't it for Jimmy Butler and his heroics and being healthy, and weren't it for Tyler Herro, first year as a rookie in the finals, 37 points. If it wasn't for him, he wouldn't have won 2 games. The series wouldn't have gone to 6 games at all. Great success, in my opinion, short of a ring. Next season, we can kind of skip 2021. Anyone that was contending in the conference finals just was too tired. It's just 3 months later, about 3 months later, they were already competing in the regular season. Regular season marred with the COVID situation and lots of injuries and people just being tired. During that season, we did acquire Victor Oladipo. A few months too late, and 1 injury too late. It was kind of a gamble, but Victor Oladipo producing 75%, 80% of what he was producing before would have been a major help for the Miami Heat. Just didn't pan out. Again, injured. Played a couple of games. Out for the rest of the season. We got swept by the Bucks. The Bucks win the championship. Next, we go to 21-22. In the offseason, we signed Kyle Lowry, and honestly, he immediately makes an impact. I said we're going to win 60 games that season. I think we won 53, if I'm not mistaken. And the same amount of wins as the eventual champion, the Warriors. But they beat us twice, so they had the tiebreaker. So it was a considerably good season. We did finish at first seed. We played well, especially in the beginning of the season. Also marred by Lowry's personal absences. And I think that when he came back, he also didn't play his best during that playoff run. But we still got to 7 games against the Celtics, and we lost by 3 points. Again, you can't say it's a very deep playoff run. You can consider it a success if you also consider getting close to a ring of success. But if you only consider a ring of success, then obviously that was a horrible season. And every season since and before, basically, since last time we won. Now, the front office does decide to majorly run it back after that season. I think that was more of a mistake. But I think that it was also a situation of the trade with Lillard kind of holding us, kind of sequestering us, right? And not allowing us to breathe so much, because Lillard would have been a complete game changer for us. But unfortunately, because of pettiness by Joe Cronin, that didn't happen. And we didn't get Lillard. And so basically ran it back. And then in the middle of the season, we collectively decided, the majority of us Heat fans collectively decided Lowry was a problem. Even those who didn't think Lowry was a problem were not so upset with letting him go from the team. And that's how we got rid of 1 more pick, or a pick fewer that we have for capital. And we got Rozier, which again everybody thought that was great. Now the mentality, not just because this was mentioned by the five on the floor, the mentality of the front office. I don't care about the mentality of the front office. The mentality of the fans. A lot of fans say we let Caleb walk for nothing. We had trouble with Lowry, but Lowry was effective when he came to the team. The trade was thought to be important, but we are right now very limited, and we don't want to get to that second apron because we don't want to be even more limited in terms of assets and capital. Should have traded Caleb when it was hype. It's not just a mentality for an office. We ourselves didn't want, or a lot of us didn't want Caleb to be traded because we did believe that he could have made a huge difference for the team because he had amazing moments and he had an amazing playoff performance, particularly against the Celtics when we made the finals against the Nuggets, and as inferior as we were to the Nuggets, again making the finals. And then of course we had last season in which pretty much everything kind of, it just didn't work out, right? I mean, with this situation of having to get rid of Lowry, with the situation of then bringing Rozier, again, the mistakes that most people consider mistakes. There were some blatant mistakes, but the mistakes that most people consider mistakes, to me, are not mistakes. To me, they're just, we believe that the team could do better. It's a little bit of disillusionment, perhaps, but not really if you look at certain things. Even believing Herro was better than we believe that he was. And not wanting to trade Herro at his height was also a part of, okay, we believe that we have enough. We believe that our team can develop and be as good as these other teams that already have players that are established and developed. But nowadays, of course, we understand Herro did not pan out. Is not playing as well in our team as he's supposed to be playing. That trade with Rozier could have been great if we'd gotten a ring, but we didn't get a ring. And now because of that trade, we don't have the assets. We don't have the draft capital, even less so. And we don't have the assets to make a significant trade right now. So, yes, there were mistakes from the front office, but all of those mistakes, or most of those mistakes, were done not because the team wanted to tank or because the team was mismanaging what he had, but because it believed in its roster. And yes, it believed in its undrafted players. It believed in the development of its rookies. And this season, it's kind of forced to do so because they don't have a way to move forward. Even though they do want to make a change, they can't make a considerable change. And that's where we're at right now. So you judge, was it a failure because we didn't get a ring, right? It was a failure because we didn't get a ring. It's a ring or bust, right? Maybe. And even for me, I can see that. But I disagree that it was a failure. For the most part, the front office just acted and reacted with belief in what it had. Just didn't pan out. Didn't pan out until now. Until now. So we don't know what next season is going to look like. We suspect, but we don't really know, do we? Especially after Jimmy Butler coming to the team. Let's go Heat.